Lydia's hands trembled as she adjusted the final streamer in the sunlit backyard, the laughter of guests echoing like distant thunder. She had poured her soul into this engagement party for Brielle, her best friend since college, every detail a testament to years of unspoken devotion. But as Brielle walked in, arm in arm with her fiancé Mark, Lydia's chest tightened with the weight of a secret that could no longer be contained. Why did it have to come to this? Lydia thought, her mind racing back to the nights they'd shared secrets under dorm room blankets. Brielle's laughter, a melody that had awakened something deep within her. She had always known her feelings ran deeper than friendship, but society's expectations and her own family's rigid values had kept her silent. Now, watching Brielle smile at Mark, a man who represented everything normal, Lydia felt the dam breaking. The party buzzed with energy. Guests mingled around tables laden with hors d'oeuvres and champagne flutes, toasting to the happy couple. Lydia forced a smile, circulating with trays of canapés, but her eyes kept drifting to Brielle. She looked radiant in her simple white dress, her short hair framing a face that Lydia had memorized in quiet moments. How could she pretend anymore? The thought gnawed at her. If I don't say something now, I'll lose her forever to a life that's not truly hers. As the afternoon wore on, Mark proposed a toast, his voice booming with confidence. To Brielle, the woman who completes me, he said, raising his glass. Everyone cheered, but Lydia saw the flicker in Brielle's eyes, a hesitation that mirrored her own doubts. They've been together for 2 years, Lydia reminded herself, but she knew the truth. Late-night confessions over wine had revealed Brielle's confusion, her attraction to women buried under layers of familial pressure. Her parents, conservative pillars in their small-town community, had always dreamed of a traditional wedding for their only daughter. Lydia's heart pounded as she pulled Brielle aside during a lull, leading her to the quiet corner of the garden. "We need to talk," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the distant music. Brielle's brow furrowed, but she followed, trusting as always. "What am I doing?" Lydia's inner voice screamed. This could ruin everything. Our friendship, her future, my sanity. But the alternative was unbearable. Watching Brielle walk down an aisle she didn't truly want. They sat on a bench hidden by blooming roses, the scent heavy in the air. "Brie, I can't keep this inside anymore," Lydia began, her words tumbling out like a confession long rehearsed. "I've loved you for years. Not as a friend but more. And I know you feel it too. Remember those nights? The way we'd hold each other. The sparks that weren't just platonic." Brielle's face paled, her eyes widening in shock. "Lydia, what are you saying? I'm engaged. This party. You planned all this." The accusation stung, but Lydia pressed on. "Exactly. I did it because I thought it would make you happy, but it's a lie. You're hiding who you are because of your family, because of what people will think. Mark's a good guy, but he's not what your heart wants." Brielle pulled away, her hands clasping together as if to steady herself. Inside, turmoil raged. "She's right, but how can I admit it? My parents would disown me. The church, the community, everything I've built would crumble." Tears welled in Brielle's eyes. "You don't understand the pressure. My mom already has the guest list ready. Dad talks about grandkids nonstop. If I back out now..." Her voice trailed off, the implications hanging heavy. Lydia reached out, but Brielle flinched. "This is betrayal, Lyd. You spring this on me at my own party." The words cut deep, and Lydia felt the first crack in her resolve. Was this selfish? Am I destroying her for my own desires? But no, she convinced herself, this is for us, for the truth we've both ignored. As they argued in hushed tones, Mark approached, his smile fading at the sight of their tense postures. "Everything okay here?" he asked, oblivious to the storm brewing. Brielle forced a nod, but Lydia couldn't hold back. "Actually no," she said, her voice steady despite the fear. "Brielle needs to tell you something." The garden seemed to hold its breath, the party's joy a distant hum. Brielle shot Lydia a look of pure betrayal, her mind reeling. How dare she force my hand? But deep down a spark of relief flickered. Maybe this was the push she needed. The confrontation escalated quickly. Mark's confusion turned to anger as fragments of the truth emerged. "What do you mean she's hiding?" he demanded, looking between them. Lydia stood her ground, explaining the years of suppressed feelings, the societal chains that bound them. Brielle remained silent, torn between loyalty to her fiancé and the undeniable pull toward Lydia. My life is unraveling, she thought, because of one moment of honesty. Is this freedom or destruction? Guests began to notice the shift, whispers spreading like wildfire. Lydia's phone buzzed, her own sister calling, no doubt sensing trouble from afar. Her family, devout and traditional, had always warned against those lifestyles. If they knew, she'd be cut off, alone in a world that already judged her harshly. But as Brielle finally spoke, her voice breaking, "Mark, I think I need time." Lydia felt a twisted victory. The party was over, shattered by words that could never be unsaid. In the aftermath, as guests trickled out with awkward goodbyes, Lydia sat alone on the bench, questioning every choice. Had she liberated Brielle, or condemned her to isolation? The sun dipped lower, casting long shadows that mirrored her doubts. Brielle had left with Mark, their future hanging by a thread. What have I done? Lydia pondered, the weight of her decision pressing down like an unyielding force. Brielle slammed the door to her apartment, the echo reverberating through the empty space like a gunshot. Mark had dropped her off in silence, his jaw set in a line of barely contained fury. How could Lydia do this? She seethed inwardly, pacing the living room. The engagement ring felt heavy on her finger, a symbol of the life she was supposed to want, but didn't. Memories flooded her. High school crushes on girls dismissed as phases, college experiments hidden from prying eyes. Lydia had been there through it all, a constant presence that blurred the lines between friendship and something more. But coming out, in their circle, it meant exile. Her parents' voices echoed in her mind. Find a nice man, settle down, be happy. Happiness, she thought bitterly, what a joke. The phone rang, her mother. Brielle hesitated, then answered. How was the party, sweetie? Everyone raving about Lydia's planning. The innocence in her voice twisted the knife. It was eventful, Brielle replied, her tone evasive. She couldn't tell them yet. The thought of their disappointment, the lectures on morality and family honor, made her stomach churn. Why can't I just be normal? Why does loving Lydia feel like a crime? Lydia, meanwhile, drove home in a daze, the city lights blurring through tears. She replayed the confrontation endlessly. Brielle's shock, Mark's anger, the guests' stares. Was it worth it? Her own family loomed large in her thoughts, her father's stern warnings against deviant paths, her mother's prayers for her to find a husband. Coming out to them years ago had been a battle, one that left scars. Now, dragging Brielle into the fray felt like repeating history. The next day dawned with tension. Brielle met Mark at a coffee shop, the air thick with unspoken accusations. Tell me the truth, he demanded, his eyes searching hers. Is there something between you and Lydia? Brielle's heart raced. Admitting it would end everything, the wedding plans, the shared apartment, the future they'd mapped out. But lying? That would trap her in a cage of her own making. I don't know, she whispered, the words tasting like ash. I've been confused for so long. Mark's face crumpled. Confused? We're getting married in 6 months. He slammed his fist on the table, drawing stares. Inside, Brielle wrestled with guilt. He's innocent in this. Why am I hurting him? But the pull toward authenticity was stronger now, ignited by Lydia's bold move. Mark stormed out, leaving her alone with her thoughts. What price am I willing to pay for truth? Lydia received a text from Brielle. We need to talk. Alone. Her pulse quickened, hope mingled with dread. They met in a park, away from judging eyes. You ruined everything, Brielle accused, but her voice lacked conviction. Lydia nodded, accepting the blame. I did it because I love you. Because pretending hurts more than facing the storm. Brielle's eyes softened, memories of stolen glances and lingering touches resurfacing. But fear gripped her. My family will never accept this. Society will label us. As they talked, layers peeled away. Brielle confessed her own feelings, buried under years of denial. I've felt it too, but what about the consequences? Losing my parents, my job, everything. Lydia shared her own struggles. The isolation after coming out, the judgmental whispers at work. It's not easy, but it's real. Hiding eats you alive. Their conversation turned heated, accusations flying. You forced my hand, Brielle yelled. I gave you a choice, Lydia countered. Deep down both knew the truth. This was a crossroads and neither could turn back. That evening Brielle faced her parents over dinner. The table was set with her mother's famous roast, a facade of normalcy. "Something happened at the party," she began, her voice trembling. Her father's fork paused mid-air. "What do you mean?" As she explained, haltingly without naming Lydia, the room grew cold. "This is nonsense," her mother snapped. "You've got cold feet. Mark's perfect." But Brielle persisted. "It's not about him. It's about me." The eruption was swift. Shouts of betrayal, threats of disownment. "We raised you better," her father thundered. Brielle fled, tears streaming, questioning if honesty was worth the fracture. Lydia waited anxiously at home, her mind a whirlwind. When Brielle arrived, disheveled and broken, they embraced, the first real acknowledgement of their bond. But joy was fleeting. Reality crashed in. "They hate me now," Brielle sobbed. Lydia held her, whispering assurances but inwardly doubted. "Have I pulled her into my hell?" The night stretched on, filled with plans and fears, as they navigated the fallout. Mark's calls went unanswered, a bridge burned. Society's weight pressed down. Whispers at work, judgmental glances from friends, their world shifted. Brielle lost a promotion. Rumors citing personal instability. Lydia faced renewed scrutiny from her family, who blamed her for corrupting Brielle. Each decision carried a cost. Freedom for isolation, love for loss. As they lay awake, Brielle wondered, is this the start of something beautiful, or the beginning of endless regret? Weeks blurred into a haze of emotional turmoil. Brielle moved in with Lydia temporarily, their apartment a sanctuary amid the chaos. But peace was illusory. Arguments erupted over trivial things, masks for deeper wounds. "You pushed me into this," Brielle accused one night, staring at the ceiling. Lydia sighed, her patience fraying. "I gave voice to what you felt. Don't blame me for your choices." Internally, Lydia battled guilt. Am I her savior or her destroyer? Family interventions loomed. Brielle's parents demanded a meeting, insisting on fixing her. At a neutral cafe, the confrontation was brutal. "This phase will pass," her mother pleaded, tears in her eyes. "Think of your future." Her father was harsher. "You're throwing away everything for her." Brielle's resolve wavered under their gaze. "They're my blood," she thought. "How can I choose love over family?" But Lydia's face flashed in her mind, a beacon of truth. "It's not a phase, Dad. It's who I am." The meeting ended in stalemate, her parents storming out with ultimatums. "Come back to your senses or don't come back at all." Brielle crumpled in the car, the rejection a physical ache. Lydia comforted her later, but tensions simmered. "Maybe they're right," Brielle murmured. Lydia's heart sank. Is she regretting us? The doubt seeded paranoia, eroding their fragile bond. Mark re-entered the picture, seeking closure. He met Brielle at their old spot, a park bench overlooking the city. "I deserve answers," he said, his voice laced with hurt. Brielle explained her journey, the suppressed identity now free. "I never meant to deceive you." Mark nodded, but anger flared. "You used me as a cover." The accusation stung. Brielle realized the collateral damage. "He's paying for my cowardice," she thought. They parted amicably, but the encounter left scars. Lydia faced her own demons. Her sister called, voice dripping with concern or judgment. "Mom's worried sick. This thing with Brielle. It's not right." Lydia defended fiercely. "It's love, not a thing." But the call unearthed old insecurities. The church's teachings, society's norms branding her as flawed. Why fight when the world resists? Yet, Brielle's presence reminded her of the stakes. A turning point came at a support group for LGBTQ individuals. Brielle attended reluctantly, dragged by Lydia. Stories of similar struggles resonated. Families torn, lives rebuilt. One woman's tale of reconciliation sparked hope. "It takes time," she said. Brielle shared tentatively the words cathartic. For the first time she felt seen. But vulnerability bred fear. What if this community rejects me too? Back home, intimacy deepened, not physical but emotional. They dissected dreams, fears, the moral quandaries of their choices. Was hiding ethical? Brielle pondered. Lydia countered. Living a lie is the real sin. Debates turned personal, revealing cracks. Brielle missed her family's warmth. Lydia resented the burden of being the strong one. An argument peaked. "You act like I'm the villain," Lydia shouted. Brielle retreated, questioning their compatibility. Social pressures mounted. Friends divided. Some supportive, others distant. A former colleague outed Brielle at work, sparking gossip. "Is it true?" her boss asked subtly, promotion hanging in balance. Brielle denied nothing, her chin high. But the stress manifested in sleepless nights, anxiety attacks. Lydia watched helplessly. Am I worth this suffering? A betrayal struck unexpectedly. Brielle's cousin, feigning support, leaked details to her parents. They arrived unannounced, bags in hand. "We're taking you home," her father declared. The scene was chaotic. Shouts, pleas, Lydia intervening. She chooses her path. But Brielle hesitated, the pull of blood strong. In that moment doubt crested. Maybe I can't do this. The door slammed, leaving Lydia alone, heart-shattering. Had she lost her? Brielle left with them, promising it was temporary. Days stretched into agony for Lydia. Calls unanswered. She spiraled. This is the price of truth, solitude. Reflections haunted her. The party, the confession, the dominoes falling. Was forcing the issue moral or manipulative? Meanwhile, at her parents' house, Brielle endured lectures, prayers, attempts to straighten her. But isolation amplified her longing for Lydia. Late nights, she questioned. Is conformity worth sacrificing my soul? A clandestine call to Lydia reignited fire. I miss you. This isn't me. The decision crystallized, return, face the storm together. Reunited, they vowed resilience. But scars lingered, trust frayed. Highs and lows alternated. Moments of joy overshadowed by societal backlash. A protest for equality they attended turned violent, reinforcing dangers. Is love worth the fight? Brielle whispered. Lydia's answer. Always. Yet, inwardly, both wondered if the cost was too steep. Months passed, the relationship evolving amid relentless trials. Brielle cut ties with toxic friends, forging new alliances in queer communities. But family rifts deepened. Her parents' silence was a wound that festered. Holidays alone stung, memories of past gatherings taunting. Do they even miss me? She wondered, staring at old photos. Lydia consoled, but her own family dynamics mirrored the pain. Distant calls, conditional love. Professional repercussions hit hard. Brielle's job demoted her subtly, citing distractions. She fought back, filing complaints, but bureaucracy dragged. This is discrimination, Lydia urged, helping with paperwork. Victories were small. A supportive HR rep, but the battle exhausted them. Is success possible in a biased world? Brielle pondered, resilience tested. Lydia faced sabotage at work too. Colleagues whispered, opportunities vanished. Your lifestyle doesn't align, a superior hinted. Fury boiled. I've earned my place. She confronted, risking all. The standoff was tense, words sharp. Judge my work, not my heart. Backlash followed. Isolation in meetings, but allies emerged, shifting tides. A pivotal moment arose when Brielle's mother reached out secretly. I don't understand, but I love you, the message read. Hope flickered. They met covertly, tears flowing. Why her? Her mother asked. Brielle explained. She sees me truly. The conversation bridged gaps, but her father's absence loomed. Progress, she thought, but at what pace? Betrayal resurfaced via Mark. He spread rumors online, painting Brielle as deceitful. The posts went viral in their circles, drawing hate. Liar, comments read. Brielle's anxiety spiked. My reputation ruined. Lydia rallied, countering with truth, but damage was done. He's hurting, Lydia rationalized, but inwardly seethed. Revenge at our expense. They attended therapy, unpacking traumas. Your confession was a catalyst, the counselor said. Brielle admitted resentment. It stole my agency. Lydia confessed fears. I thought I'd lose you. Sessions revealed depths. Moral dilemmas of outing, societal ethics. Was it right? They debated. Answers eluded, but understanding grew. Social events tested bonds. A wedding invitation from mutual friends arrived, Mark attending. Go without me, Brielle suggested. But Lydia insisted. We face it together. The event was charged. Stares, whispers. Mark approached, apologetic. I was wrong. Forgiveness came hard but necessary. Healing? Brielle questioned. Or just survival? Deeper conflicts emerged. Brielle yearned for children but paths were fraught. Adoption biases, family judgments. Can we build a life? She asked. Lydia shared dreams but doubts. Society stacks against us. Discussions turned raw, exposing vulnerabilities. I'm scared, Lydia admitted. Brielle echoed. Me too. A crisis peaked when Lydia's father suffered a health scare. She visited, tensions high. This choice of yours, he grumbled. Lydia defended. It's not a choice, it's me. The visit unearthed regrets. Missed connections, lost time. Forgive me, he whispered weakly. Tears fell. Reconciliation tentative. But Brielle's absence highlighted divides. Emboldened, Brielle confronted her father. Accept me or lose me, she stated. His response, silence then a grudging nod. Give me time. Breakthroughs felt fragile but pivotal. The couple celebrated quietly, bonds strengthening. Yet sacrifices lingered. Lost friendships, altered careers. High drama unfolded at a community event. Protesters clashed, targeting queer attendees. Lydia shielded Brielle, fear surging. This is our reality, she thought amid chaos. Police intervened but trauma scarred. Why fight when hate prevails? Brielle despaired. Lydia's resolve. Because love defies. Reflection dominated nights. Each decision's cost tallied. Pain for growth, loss for gain. Moral quandaries persisted. Did ends justify means? As they navigated, awakening dawned. Strength in unity, truth's power. But questions remained, fueling internal debates. The relationship matured. Weathered by storms but rooted deeper. Brielle secured a new job in a progressive firm. Thriving despite scars. This is me, she affirmed, confidence blooming. Lydia advanced too, her advocacy earning respect. But victories were bittersweet. Old wounds reopened sporadically. Family ties mended slowly. Brielle's mother visited. Awkward but genuine. Tell me about her, she asked. Stories flowed, barriers crumbling. Her father followed, gruff apologies offered. I was wrong. Reconciliation brought tears, but trust rebuilt brick by brick. Lydia's family mirrored. Holidays included Brielle tentatively, acceptance growing. Yet society's shadows persisted. Discrimination at a restaurant, refused service subtly. Not here, the manager implied. They left dignified but rage simmered. How much more? Brielle fumed. Lydia channeled anger into activism, joining rallies. Change starts with us. Their involvement deepened commitment but risks mounted. Threats online, vigilance constant. Personal growth intertwined with pain. Brielle explored identity attending workshops. I hid too long, she reflected. Lydia supported but jealousy flickered. Is she outgrowing me? Insecurities voiced in quiet moments strengthened them. We're in this together, they vowed. A major confrontation arose with former friends. At a reunion, accusations flew. You broke Mark's heart. Brielle stood firm. I followed mine. Lydia backed her, words cutting. Judge less, understand more. The group splintered, losses mourned. But new circles formed, authentic and affirming. Moral reflections intensified. Was your party ambush ethical? Brielle asked one evening. Lydia pondered. It was desperate love. Debates evolved. Societal pressures versus personal truth. Right versus wrong in outing. No absolutes emerged, but empathy did. They planned a commitment ceremony, small, symbolic. Invites extended cautiously. Responses varied. Mark declined gracefully, closure achieved. Families attended unevenly, progress marked. Vows exchanged amid tears. Through storms I choose you. Joy overwhelmed but realism tempered. This is no fairy tale. Post-ceremony, challenges continued. Adoption discussions revealed biases. Agencies hesitant. Traditional families preferred, one said. Heartbreak ensued, dreams deferred. We'll fight, Lydia declared. Brielle agreed, resilience forged. Awakening culminated in advocacy work. They spoke at events, sharing stories. Love isn't a debate, Brielle proclaimed. Impact rippled. Inspired youth shifted minds. But backlash stung. Hate mail protests. Worth it? Lydia questioned inwardly. Affirmation. Yes for change. As years hinted at stability, reflections lingered. The journey's toll. Betrayals endured, damages paid. Yet growth prevailed. From hidden loves to open hearts. In quiet nights they pondered paths not taken. Was Lydia's bold confrontation a heroic act of liberation, or a selfish disruption that inflicted unnecessary pain?